Hey Curtis, how are you?
G'day, Chris. Good. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. Welcome to the MFAA Victorian Industry Forum. Obviously, thank you for joining me here today. Curtis, a client of mine, recently settled on his house and land, and we're going to have a discussion, I guess, in relation to your experience.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, fantastic. So, well, right off the top of it, how did you actually find the experience? How was the builder? How was securing your house and land? How did you find the first part of finding who was going to build your home?
Yeah, look, the process was really, really good. It was really interesting as it is, building your first home. It's all of it's very unknown, and no, it was really, really good. I'm buying a turnkey product townhouse, and I had some upgrades and some specifics that I wanted in the house that the house didn't quite have yet. And the builder was able to meet those expectations very, very easily. Um, and that process was, yeah, real easy.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, so I guess that's great that they allowed you to do some variations to the turnkey product, which is normally not the case when it comes to like a townhouse run or a medium density kind of run. But essentially, it's good that they accommodated to what your needs were. Uh, Obviously, there was a full finance side of the construction, and that's something that I obviously helped you out with. But what would you say was the most difficult part, or even a good experience part of the journey that you had for settling this house and land?
Yeah, so getting finance on a first home during COVID was very, very interesting, and I'm sure hard for yourself as well. And with the valuations at different banks coming in from a third party, just made things quite difficult. Um,
Yeah.
and having a broker actually made that whole process absolutely achievable compared to if I was doing this by myself. I couldn't believe if I was doing this by myself. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I guess like a little bit on that, we had done what I think it was about four valuations just to get this over the line with a particular lender. A bit disappointing that your main financial institution that you banked with couldn't come to the party. But as you mentioned, unbiased, the bank has a valuer that comes out that's not part of the lender, that comes and values it, and it's normally an opinionated valuation based on that val firm's comparable sales and what's in the area and such. But we did get it over the line, and yes, doing it on your own would have been, I guess, a lot more challenging, especially to try and get a valuation to stack up. A first home buyer like yourself, doesn't have all that extra surplus funds to just throw in if we did come in with a shortfall. And as we did come in with a shortfall, it was something that we had to remedy, and that's what I'm here for. So I'm glad that we ended up getting that over the line for yourself. How did you find the government assistance and such in relation to your house and land?
Um, I feel very, very lucky in my situation, just because there's so many grants available for myself being the first home owner, and the stamp duty waive is really nice as well. Um, just to, having so many, the government comes out with these grants, but they don't come out with when they're going to come and how they're going to come. So finding out where, when is these grants are actually going to come was a bit of a hassle. But other than that, all grants are grateful to come my way. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I think we applied, or when you had applied for the house and land, they just mentioned the 25K grant, the builder grant. First home owners grant was absolutely fine. It was something that we utilized at land settlement, which was fantastic, and something that we could take advantage of. But in relation to that 25K builder grant, like you mentioned, there wasn't much that came out from the government until, we had to wait to see how it was going to be implemented, utilized and such. And that was probably a bit of a daunting experience considering that, not that we were reliant on it, but, would have definitely assisted yourself being a first home buyer, getting your first home, purchasing white goods and such. But realistically, stamp duty waiver, there was a lot there that, we managed to pull out from for yourself. And it's great that, the government has these initiatives to really, kickstart, first home buyers to get their foot in the door and not get stuck in that rent trap, or, even if they're just living at home and they want to move out, rather than renting, getting into a home straight away would have, definitely feels better to own your own four walls. So fantastic that you had that experience. What would you want to see, Curtis, more of, in the future, or in relation to your whole finance experience? What would you want to see more of, or perhaps even change in the near future?
Yeah, look, definitely great to use those grants and everything. And just on that question, I think that I've been really lucky in the sense of going on this finance trip, and buying my first home is very, very challenging because it's a long process and there's so many things to think about. But having a broker being able to explain everything to me has been a big benefit. And I think that's something that I'm going to make sure that I continue with going forward, because, having all these tough things that come through with a mortgage, and having them explained in a easy to understand way is what I need.
Well, look, I'm always here to assist, so I'll always be there. And that is something that I offer. That portfolio management experience, and just making sure that you are being looked after. I guess it is our duty as brokers and as credit advisors to make sure that you have every little nook and cranny covered when it comes to an explanation of the process. Obviously the builder's not going to explain a lot of what you had gone through. They're not going to tell you that you're going to get potentially a valuation shortfall, or you might have to shop around with other lenders before you can get something that stacks up. And here as a broker, we're here to guide you through that pathway. That's our legwork. And the fact that we've come out of this very successfully and positively is a fantastic achievement at the end of it. And I'm glad that you're happy. So I really appreciate, obviously, your time. Thank you so much, Curtis, for coming on. Look, I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.